Brandy welcomes you to Alex Cardinale Entertainment. Say hello, Brandy. Welcome to a special presentation of the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Enjoy this show. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from me, Alex Cardinale.
Several murder cases often occur in several parts of the world. It is very difficult to reveal this case. An investigation needs to be carried out by the police. The investigation will be carried out by police officers. The evidence will be analyzed by a team from the forensic laboratory. And the results of the examination from the forensic laboratory will be given to detectives to be developed into information. The results of the analysis will be used to create an investigation report anatomic of crime. The report will be adjusted according to witness statements and indicative evidence.
Unlock the mysteries with Detective Alex Cardinale. Hey fellow detectives and crime junkies, welcome to On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. Get ready to dive into a world of crime and mystery. Join Detective Cardinale as he explores crimes of all kinds, from rapes and murders to robberies and more. Ever wonder what crimes took place 10 to 20 years ago? What can we learn from these past enigmas? Tune in right now to find out. Why watch? Engaging analysis. Detective Cardinale brings his expert insights and captivating storytelling to unravel some of the most perplexing cases. Educational insights. Learn about investigative techniques and the intricacies of solving crimes. Historical perspective. Discover how past crimes have shaped current law enforcement practices. Remember, keeping our communities safe starts with you. If you see something suspicious, don't hesitate to report it by calling 911. Remember, if you see something, say something. Let's welcome our host from Port St. Lucie, Florida, Detective Alex Cardinale, as he takes you on a thrilling journey into the heart of the criminal world. Don't miss out on this captivating experience. Tune in now and be part of the adventure.
Hello, crime junkies, and welcome to On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale. You guys have asked for the return of On the Case. Well, here it is. On this episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we're going back 10 and 20 years to take a look at some of the crimes that happened in 2005 and 2015. Find out about the infamous crimes that happened in 2005 and find out about the infamous crimes that happened in 2015. We'll learn about the murder of Jessica Lunsford. We'll learn about the disappearance of Natalie Holloway. We'll learn about the murder of Robert, a man from Ireland. We'll learn about the Atlanta courthouse shooting, and more. All those crimes will be discussed right here, right now, on the return of On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale. Thank you to all my crime junkies for requesting the return of this show. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So let's go ahead and get started. And before we get to our actual topic, I do want to send some prayers out to my local police department. You know, the St. Lucie County Florida Police Department has been going through a lot recently. We just recently lost a police sheriff who was shot and killed. Last week, the week before Thanksgiving, she was shot and killed when she was trying to do an eviction. She was shot and killed. So I say thoughts and prayers to that police officer's family. And then last night, another police sergeant was shot in the face twice and seriously injured. He is in the ICU right now in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So let's send our thoughts and prayers to the St. Lucie County, Florida Police Department because they have suffered some police brutality. They lost a police sergeant, and then another police sergeant last night got shot in the face twice. So I say we're going to send our prayers and our thoughts and prayers to the St. Lucie County, Florida Police Department. And this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here and on the case, we're going to do an entire episode dedicated to attacks on police and police victims. That'll be this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, where we talk about when police are attacked, shot, injured, and killed. But my thoughts and prayers and your thoughts and prayers are with the St. Lucie County, Florida Police Department. All right, let's get to our main topic now, crimes from 10 and 20 years ago. And we're going to start with crimes from 20 years ago, 2005. What are some of the most infamous crimes from 2005? Well, the year 2005 was marked by several high-profile crimes that captured the world's attention. These events, characterized by their complexity, impact, and often tragic consequences, remained etched in the public consciousness. Here are some of the most notorious crimes from 2005. The BTK killer's arrest. One of the most infamous crimes in 2005 was the arrest of Dennis Rader, the notorious BTK, blind, torture, killer. Rader had terrorized Wichita, Kansas, with a series of brutal murders spanning from 1974 to 1991. His arrest in February of 2005 brought relief to a city that had lived in fear for decades. Dennis Rader was ultimately convicted of 10 murders and sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms. The murder of Jessica Lunsford. In February 2005, the kidnapping and murder of 9-year-old Jessica Lunsford in Florida shocked the nation. She was abducted from her home by John Cooey, a convicted sex offender. Her body was found buried nearby several weeks later. The case prompted widespread legislative reforms, including the Jessica Lunsford Act, which increased penalties for offenders and strengthened monitoring of released sex offenders. The disappearance of Natalie Holloway. In May 2005, the disappearance of 18-year-old Natalie Holloway during a high school graduation trip to Aruba garnered international attention. During extensive searches and media coverage, Holloway was never found, and her case remains unsolved. The incident led to numerous investigations and ongoing speculation about what happened to her. Now, despite all the coverage on the media and all the extensive searches, unfortunately, Natalie Holloway has yet to be found. 20 years later, we still don't know where Natalie Holloway is. The London bombing. On July 7th, 2005, a series of coordinated suicide bomb attacks on London's public transport system killed 72 people and injured over 700 others. The attacks were carried out by 4 Islamist extremists and targeted 3 underground trains and a bus during the morning rush hour. This tragic event is often referred to as 7/7 and had a significant impact on security policies and anti-terror measures in the United Kingdom and beyond. The murder of Robert McCartney. In Northern Ireland, the murder of Robert McCartney in January 2005 became a significant political issue. McCartney was killed outside a Belfast bar, and his murder was linked to members of the Irish Republican Army, IRA. His family's campaign for justice garnered international support, and the case highlighted issues of criminality and intimidation in the region. These events, among others, underscore the diverse and often grim nature of crime during 2005. Each case had far-reaching implications, influencing public policy, legal reforms, and societal attitudes towards crime and justice. Here are some crimes that happened right here in the United States of America in 2005. The murder of Jennifer Cave. In August 2005, the murder of Jennifer Cave, a 21-year-old woman in Austin, Texas, shocked the nation. She was brutally killed by Colton Pitnack, a former University of Texas student. The case drew significant attention due to its gruesome nature and the dramatic escape of Pitnack and his accomplice Laura Hall to Mexico. It seems that a lot of people that commit heinous crimes like murders and robberies, they often tend to leave the United States, and the place they go, Mexico. I wonder why Mexico is a place where criminals choose to go. But they ended up getting caught in Mexico. Both were eventually apprehended and convicted. The Atlanta courthouse shooting. On March 11th, 2005, Brian Nicholas went on a shooting spree at the Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia, killing a judge, a court reporter, a sheriff's deputy, and later a federal agent. Nicholas had managed to overpower a deputy, steal her gun, and escape. His capture after an extensive manhunt highlighted issues related to courthouse security and prisoner handling procedures. And a bit later on in the show, we're going to talk more about the Atlanta courthouse shooting because it really was a crime that took place 20 years ago that isn't talked about often, but it should be talked about a lot because there's a lot of things you can learn from the Atlanta courthouse shooting. So coming up tonight, we'll talk about that crime a little bit more in depth. Now we're going to talk about some not so serious crimes that happened in 2005. These are serious crimes, but they're definitely not murders, rapes, or anything like that, but they still are a crime. And the first one is wildlife trafficking. While not often in the public eye, wildlife trafficking was a persistent issue in 2005. Wildlife trafficking is bringing in illegal animals to the pet trade. Things like chimpanzees, things like Burmese pythons, anacondas, caiman, etc. All large animals that are potentially dangerous to humans and cats and dogs. Now, a number of years ago in Connecticut, there was a chimpanzee that did a devastating attack on a woman by the name of Charla Nash. Well, that is the result of wildlife trafficking. That happened well before 2005, but that is a good example of what can happen when you bring in these large primates and other dangerous animals. That chimpanzee, I think his name was Travis, ended up biting off Charlotte Nash's face, her hands, and many other body parts. Fortunately, Charlotte Nash survived, but she had some horrendous injuries and some gruesome injuries. But that's a good example of what can happen when people are bringing in these exotic animals for the pet trade. Now, this illegal trade, wildlife trafficking, involves the capture and sale of protected species and their products, threatening biodiversity and contributing to the decline of endangered species, and also putting humans and other animals at risk. Illegal dumping of hazardous waste. In 2005, there were several cases of companies and individuals illegally dumping hazardous waste. These crimes typically involve the improper disposal of toxic substances, which can lead to contamination of soil and water sources. Such actions not only harm the environment, but also pose serious health risks to communities. Now, 20 years ago in 2005, as technology advanced, so did the landscape of cybercrime. Although these crimes may not have received widespread attention, they represented a growing area of concern. Identity theft. Identity theft remained a significant issue in 2005, with criminals using stolen personal information to commit fraud. This type of crime can lead to financial losses for victims and requires extensive efforts to rectify. Phishing scams. Phishing scams where criminals trick individuals into providing sensitive information via fake communications were on the rise. These scams often led to unauthorized access to bank accounts and personal data. White-collar crimes. White-collar crimes are typically non-violent, but they can have devastating economic impacts. Insider trading. While not as sensational as other crimes, insider trading was a notable white-collar crime in 2005. This illegal practice involves trading stocks or other securities based on confidential, non-public information, undermining market integrity. Accounting fraud. Cases of accounting fraud where companies falsify financial statements to appear more profitable were uncovered in 2005. These crimes can have severe consequences for investors, employees, and the economy at large. And intellectual property crimes. The theft of intellectual property is often overlooked, but can have significant repercussions for innovation and creativity. Software piracy. In 2005, software piracy was a widespread issue, with individuals and organizations illegally copying and distributing software. This crime undermines the software industry's profitability and stifles innovation. Counterfeiting. Counterfeiting, including the production and sale of fake goods and especially currency, was a huge, persistent problem in 2005. These crimes deceive consumers and it can hurt legitimate businesses. It can damage legitimate businesses. Understanding these lesser known crimes helps paint a clearer picture of the diverse challenges law enforcement and society faced 20 years ago in 2005. By acknowledging these issues, we can better address and prevent them in the future. Well, coming up next here on the return of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we're going to take a look at crimes from around the world in 2005, and we're going to take a deeper look in the murder of Robert McCourtney, and we're going to take a deeper look into the London bombing and more. So plenty more crime action coming your way right after this quick word from this Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The next Saturday with Alex Cardinale is the 1st of December. We kick off the last month of the year and we kick off Christmas season on the next episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Live Saturday, December 6th. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Get ready to learn about the patridge as the animal of the world. Learn about the beautiful maroon clownfish as Aqua Alex's featured fish. The Christmas featured fish will be the beautiful red-spotted gold Severum cichlid. There will be some Seagrass Farms featured fish. Chef Alex's Christmas cookie recipe will be the delicious Italian cookies. Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan Alex Cardinale will preview Week 14, plus Christmas shopping tip, Christmas dinner tips, Christmas music, two truths and a lie Christmas style, and more. Don't miss Saturday with Alex Cardinale. this Saturday, December 6th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment and Instagram. All right, so right now let's talk about crimes from around the world in 2005. And let's start with Brazil. In Brazil in 2005, we had the Mensalo scandal. In Brazil, the Mensalo scandal emerged as a major political corporation case. It involved the alleged monthly payments to congressmen by the ruling party to secure votes in Congress. The scandal implicated numerous politicians and led to widespread public outrage. In 2005, investigations intensified, and the Brazilian Supreme Court later ruled on the case, leading to convictions and significant political ramifications. In Canada, we had the Maythrop tragedy. On March 3rd, 2005, four Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers were killed during a raid on a farm near Maythrop, Alberta, Canada. The perpetrator, James Rozak, ambushed the officers before taking his own life. This event was the worst loss of life for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in a single day since 1885, raising serious questions about officer safety and rural crime. In Spain, we had the Madrid train bombing trials. Following the devastating train bombings in Madrid on March 11, 2004, which killed 191 people, the trials of the accused began in 2005. The attacks were attributed to an Islamist extremist group, and the trials sought justice for the victims. The proceedings were closely watched worldwide as a significant effort to combat terrorism and bring perpetrators to justice. Australia, the Cronulla riots. In December of 2005, the Sydney suburb of Cronulla witnessed violent riots sparked by racial tensions. The unrest began after a dispute between local beachgoers and visitors of Middle Eastern descent, leading to large-scale brawls and subsequent retaliatory attacks. The riots highlighted underlying racial issues in Australia and prompted a national dialogue on multiculturalism and community relations. The crimes of 2005 had a far-reaching impact, leading to changes in policies, heightened security measures, and social introspection. Governments and international organizations continue to work on improving legal frameworks, enhancing law enforcement capabilities, and fostering community resilience to prevent further occurrences of similar crimes. And that is crimes from the United States of America and the world in 2005. And right now, we're going to break down some of the most infamous crimes from 2005. And we're going to start with the murder of Jessica Lunsford. Now, the murder of Jessica Lunsford is a heart-wrenching case that captured national attention in the United States due to its brutality and the ensuing legal and legislative impacts. Jessica Lunsford was a 9-year-old girl from Homosassa, Florida, whose life was tragically cut short in February of 2005. Jessica was last seen alive on the night of February 23rd, 2005, at her grandparents' home where she lived with her father. Her disappearance was discovered the following morning, triggering an extensive search effort by the community and law enforcement. Despite the immediate response, days turned into weeks with no signs of Jessica. The investigation took a pivotal turn when authorities focused on John Cooey, a registered sex offender living nearby. Cooey had a criminal history that included multiple offenses, making him a person of interest early on. However, it wasn't until March 2005 that Cooey was apprehended in Georgia and brought back to Florida for questioning. During interrogation, Cooey confessed to abducting and murdering Jessica. He led investigators to her body, which was found buried near his residence in a shallow grave. The details of the crime were devastating. Jessica had been held captive for several days before she was killed. John Cooey was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and sexual battery. His trial took place in 2007, and a jury found him guilty on all counts. The heinous nature of the crime led to a swift sentencing phase where Cooey was given a death penalty. However, he died of natural causes in 2009 while on death row. Jessica's murder prompted significant changes in child protection laws. One of the most notable outcomes was the introduction of Jessica's Law. This legislation, which has been enacted in various forms in multiple states, mandates stricter sentencing for sexual offenders and increased monitoring of those released from prison. The law aims to prevent similar tragedies by ensuring that offenders cannot easily reoffend. Jessica Lunsford's case deeply affected the community and the nation, highlighting the vulnerabilities children face and the need for strategic protective measures. Visuals, tributes, and ongoing advocacy efforts continue to honor her memory and support other victims of similar crimes. The murder of Jessica Lunsford remains a sobering reminder of the importance of community vigilance and the relentless pursuit of justice. Her legacy continues to influence child protection policies and inspire efforts to safeguard children everywhere. Rest in peace to Jessica Lunsford, who was murdered in 2005. That is awful. Well, coming up next here on The Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we're going to learn about the London bombings from 2005. But first, I want to invite you to one of my flagship programs taking place later this month. It's December, and that means it is Christmas season. Well, on December 23rd, Saturday with Alex Cardinale presents Merry Christmas with Santa Claus Alex Cardinale, and you're invited. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas from Santa Claus Alex Cardinale. I'm inviting you to the 2025 Merry Christmas with Santa Claus Alex Cardinale, airing Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and being presented by Saturday with Alex Cardinale. On Merry Christmas with Alex Cardinale, you can expect Christmas music. Enjoy some wonderful classic Christmas tunes just 2 days before Christmas. Chef Alex Cardinale will be on hand to make some delicious cookies. Aqua Alex will be on hand to discuss great Christmas fish gifts for fish keepers. Plus, Santa Claus Alex Cardinale has plenty of surprises in store, including a message for all the youngsters out there and a whole lot more Christmas fun. Plus, Santa Claus Alex Cardinale will preview NFL action on Christmas Day. Don't miss Merry Christmas with Santa Claus Alex Cardinale, live Tuesday, December 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, on YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment and Instagram. Merry Christmas, everyone. All right now let's go ahead and talk about the London bombings. The London bombings, often referred to as the 7/7 bombings, were a series of coordinated terrorist attacks that took place on July 7th, 2005 in London, United Kingdom. These attacks targeted civilians using the city's public transportation system during the morning rush hour. The events of that day are etched into the memories of many, marking a significant moment in the history of the United Kingdom. The attacks. The attacks began at approximately 8:50 a.m. when three bombs exploded almost simultaneously on the London Underground network. These explosions occurred at the following locations: Aldgate Station. A bomb detonated on a train traveling between Liverpool Street and Aldgate. Edward Road Station. Another explosion occurred on a train that was traveling through Edward Road Station. King's Cross St. Pancras Station. A third bomb exploded on a train traveling between King's Cross St. Pancras and Russell Square. Just under an hour later, at 9:47 a.m., a fourth bomb exploded on a double-decker bus in Tavistock Square. This attack was particularly shocking as it struck above ground and was captured by CCTV, bringing the event vividly into the public eye. The bombings resulted in the tragic loss of 52 innocent lives and injured over 700 people. Many of the injured suffered life-altering physical and psychological trauma. The attacks were the deadliest terrorist incident in the United Kingdom since the Lockerbie bombing in 1988 and had a profound impact on the nation. Perpetrators and motives. The bombings were carried out by four British Islamist extremists: Muhammad Khan, Shehzad Tanwir, Hassab Hassan, and Jeremiah Lindsay. These individuals were motivated by extremist ideologies and claimed allegiance to Al Qaeda. Their actions highlighted the growing threat of homegrown terrorism in Western countries. In the immediate aftermath, London's emergency services responded swiftly and effectively, with police, firefighters, and ambulance services working tirelessly to assist victims and secure the sites of the attacks. The public also showed remarkable resilience and solidarity, with many Londoners offering help to those affected. The London bombings prompted significant changes in national security policies and practices. The United Kingdom government increased its focus on counter-terrorism measures, leading to enhanced surveillance, intelligent operations, and community engagement to prevent future attacks. There was also a heightened emphasis on understanding and addressing the root causes of radicalization. To honor the victims, several memorials were established, including the 7th July Memorial in Hyde Park, unveiled on July 7, 2009. This monument serves as a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the resilience of the city in the face of adversity. The London bombings were a tragic chapter in the city's history, underscoring the global challenges posed by terrorism and the importance of vigilance, community cohesion, and resilience. The events of July 7th, 2005 are remembered with solemnity and have become an integral part of the collective memory of Londoners and the wider United Kingdom community. Now, I actually remember the London bombings because I was a huge fan of WWE in 2005. And in 2005, WWE had a character by the name of Muhammad Hassan, who was like a Middle Eastern sympathizer. He was a heel character, and he had a feud with WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker. And because of the London bombings, his character had to be retired, and he was basically released from the WWE. Anyway, that is the London bombing from 2005 in London, United Kingdom. A lot of people tragically lost their lives because of the London bombing in 2005. Well, coming up next, we're going to talk about the murder of Robert McCartney from Ireland. But first, I want to remind everyone that you can vote for the best of 2025. 2025 was an epic year for me, Alex Cardinale, and the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Up on the screen right now is a special QR code. You can scan that QR code, and it's going to take you to the link to where you can vote for the best of 2025. The link will also be in the episode description, so you can vote there as well. Here is more information on how you can vote for the best of 2025. 2025 is quickly coming to an end. 2025 was an amazing year for yours truly, Alex Cardinale. And I want you, my audience, to determine the best of 2025 for the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Here is how you will determine the best of 2025. You will vote for the best series of 2025, the best live stream of 2025, the best video upload of 2025, the best guest of 2025, and the best special episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale of 2025. Here's how you do it. You just click the link in the episode description, and you will simply vote by choosing your nomination and clicking submit. So go vote for the best of 2025 right now. Alright, right now we're going to talk about the murder of Robert McCartney from Ireland in 2025. The murder of Robert McCartney, a 33-year-old man from Northern Ireland, was a significant and tragic event that drew widespread attention due to its political and social implications. The incident occurred on January 30th, 2005 in Belfast, Ireland, shaking the local community and highlighting tensions within the region. Robert McCartney was a father of two and a resident of the Short Strand area of Belfast, a predominantly nationalist neighborhood. He worked as a forklift driver and was known for being a devoted family man. On the night of his murder, McCartney and several friends visited a local bar, McGuinness's, which was known to be frequented by members of the Irish Republican Army. The altercation that led to McCartney's murder began inside McGuinness's bar. A dispute broke out, reportedly involving members of the IRA. The confrontation escalated, and McCartney, along with a friend, was attacked outside the bar. He suffered severe injuries and was left for dead on the street. Despite being rushed to the hospital, McCartney succumbed to his injuries the following day. Aftermath and public reaction. The murder of Robert McCartney sparked outrage, both locally and internationally. The case was particularly controversial because of the alleged involvement of IRA members and the perceived intimidation of witnesses, which hindered police investigations. McCartney's family, notably his sisters, launched a high-profile campaign seeking justice for his death. Their efforts brought significant media attention and political pressure, ultimately leading to some arrest, though no one was convicted for his murder. The murder became a pivotal moment in North Ireland's peace process. It highlighted the ongoing issues of violence and intimidation associated with paramilitary groups and underscored the challenges faced in the region's transition towards peace and reconciliation. The incident also strained relations between the IRA and Sinn Féin, as the McCartney family vocally criticized the latter for not doing enough to ensure justice. Robert McCartney's murder remains a poignant reminder of the complexities and difficulties in Northern Ireland's journey towards lasting peace. The campaign for justice by his family and friends brought attention to the need for accountability and the importance of addressing paramilitary influence in the community. The case continues to be referred in discussions about peace building and justice in post-conflict societies. And that is information on the murder of Robert McCartney from Ireland. My thoughts and prayers go out to Robert McCartney's family. May you rest in peace, Robert McCartney. And now we're going to talk about, to me, in my humble opinion, the shocking crime of 2005. The crime that makes me go, WTF. The most horrendous crime from 2005, in my humble opinion, is this crime we're going to talk about right now, and that is the Atlanta courthouse shooting. Now, the 2005 Atlanta courthouse shooting was a tragic and high-profile event that took place on March 11th, 2005 in Atlanta, Georgia. This incident unfolded at the Fulton County Courthouse and involved a series of violent acts that shocked the nation. The shooting began when Brian Nicholas, who was on trial for rape charges, overpowered a deputy sheriff, stole her gun, and went on a rampage. Nicholas entered the courtroom where he shot and killed the presiding judge, Judge Roland Barnes, and a court reporter, Julie Ann Brandew. Nicholas then fled the courthouse, leading to a massive manhunt. That is crazy. When is the last time that you can remember someone that was on trial pulled out a deputy's gun, overpowered her, and then killed the judge and a court reporter? That is absolutely scary, and it happened in real life in 2005. After the courthouse shooting, Nicholas continued his violent spree. He killed a federal agent, David Wilhelm, in the process of stealing his truck, extending the chaos and fear across Atlanta. This prompted a large-scale manhunt involving multiple law enforcement agencies. Brian Nicholas was eventually captured after a 26-hour standoff, thanks in part to the courage and quick thinking of Ashley Smith, a woman who Nicholas had taken hostage in her apartment. Smith was able to convince Nicholas to surrender peacefully by appealing to his sense of faith and using passages from the book The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. The Atlanta courthouse shooting highlighted significant security lapses within the judicial system and led to reforms aimed at improving courthouse security and the handling of high-risk defendants. The tragic events of the Atlanta courthouse shooting had a profound impact on the community and nation. It sparked discussions about courthouse security, the treatment of defendants, and the safety of judicial personnel. The bravery of Ashley Smith during the hostage situation also received widespread recognition, with her story being adapted into a book and film, further spreading awareness of the incident. In summary, the Atlanta courthouse shooting of 2005 was a devastating event that led to the loss of innocent lives and prompted changes in security protocols, serving as a somber reminder of the vulnerability of public spaces to acts of violence. Man, that is tragic that a judge was shot and killed inside this courtroom. It is definitely very, very, very crazy. All right, that is the Atlanta courthouse shooting. And those are crimes from 20 years ago in 2005. Coming up next, we're going to talk about crimes from 10 years ago in 2015. But first, for all my awesome fans out there, and perhaps for first-time viewers, I want to invite you guys to check out my website. I have my own website now, and I have merchandise for sale. I've got beautiful Christmas sweaters and other amazing merchandise for sale. On the screen right now is a special QR code which you can scan and it'll take you to my website. Let's take a look at some of the amazing merch I've got for sale right now. Merry Christmas from Alex Cardinale, and I'm here today to tell you I have Christmas merchandise available on the Alex Cardinale Entertainment website. You can purchase some beautiful Christmas sweaters, some beautiful Christmas t-shirts, some beautiful coffee mugs, and all of our great merchandise, including an Aqua Alex and Paul Cafaro t-shirt. So go check out our website and purchase these amazing items.
Get ready for the holidays with Alex Cardinale Entertainment. Looking to add some flair to your festive season? Look no further. Alex Cardinale Entertainment is thrilled to offer an incredible selection of merch that's perfect for Christmas and beyond. From cozy Christmas sweaters and stylish t-shirts to unique mugs and tropical fish-themed apparel, we've got something for everyone. And don't miss the epic collaboration shirt featuring Aqua Alex Cardinale and Paul Cufaro, two legends on one unforgettable tee. By purchasing, you're not only getting fabulous merch, but also supporting a small American business and passionate content creator. Plus, every order comes with a personalized thank you letter and a shout-out in an upcoming episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Explore our collection and make your purchase here. Alex Cardinale, entertainment/shop.fourthwall.com or click link in description. Don't miss out. Grab your gear today and join the fun.
All right, right now we're going to talk about crimes from 10 years ago in 2015. The year 2015 witnessed several high-profile crimes that captured global attention. These incidents not only shocked the public, but also sparked widespread discussions about safety, justice, and societal issues. Here are some of the most notorious crimes that occurred 10 years ago. The Paris terrorist attacks. On the evening of November 13th, 2015, a series of coordinated terrorist attacks took place in Paris, France. The attacks included suicide bombings and mass shootings at various locations, including the Bataclan Concert Hall, where 89 people were killed. The Islamic State of Iraq claimed responsibility for the attacks, which resulted in a total of 130 deaths and hundreds of injuries. The tragic event led to a state of emergency in France and prompted a global conversation about terrorism and security. In just a few moments, we're going to talk in depth about the Paris terrorist attacks. The Charleston church shooting. On June 17, 2015, a mass shooting occurred at the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. 9 African-American churchgoers, including the senior pastor, were killed during a Bible study session. The shooter, motivated by racial hatred, was arrested the following day. This crime reignited debates over racism, gun control, and the display of Confederate symbols in the United States of America. The San Bernardino attack. On this day exactly 10 years ago, on December 2nd, 2015, a married couple opened fire at a holiday party at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California. 14 people were killed and 22 others were injured in what was later classified as an act of terrorism. The attackers were killed in a shootout with police later that day. The incident raised concerns about the domestic terrorism and the radicalization of individuals in the United States. The case of El Chapo Guzman. In July 2015, notorious Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman escaped from a maximum security prison through a mile-long tunnel, marking his second prison escape. This daring breakout highlighted issues of corruption and security within Mexico's penal system. Guzman's escape led to a massive manhunt, and he was recaptured in January of 2016. The FIFA Corporation scandal. In 2015, the world of international soccer was rocked by an enormous corporation scandal. Several high-ranking FIFA officials were indicted on charges of racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering. The scandal exposed decades-long practices of bribery and kickbacks within the organization. The fallout led to the resignation of FIFA president Sepp Blatter and significant reforms within the organization. These events are a reminder of the complex and often dark aspects of human society. They also underscore the importance of vigilance, justice, and international cooperation in addressing crime and ensuring public safety. And those are some of the crimes that occurred 10 years ago in 2015. And now we're going to speak in depth about some of the crimes from 10 years ago. And now we're going to talk about the Paris terrorist attacks. On the evening of November 13th, 2015, a series of coordinated terrorist attacks occurred in Paris, France, resulting in widespread devastation and loss of life. These attacks were among the deadliest on European soil in recent history, leaving a profound impact on France and the world. Sequence of events. The attacks unfolded across multiple locations in Paris, including the Stade de France, several restaurants and cafes, and the Bataclan Concert Hall. Here is a brief timeline of the events. Stade de France. The first explosions were heard at approximately 9:20 p.m. near the National Stadium, where a friendly soccer match between France and Germany was taking place. Suicide bombers detonated explosive belts, causing panic, but relatively few casualties due to the stadium security measures. Restaurants and cafes. Around the same time, gunmen opened fire on crowded restaurants and cafes. These attacks resulted in numerous fatalities and injuries as diners were caught off guard by the sudden violence. Bataclan Concert Hall. The deadliest attack occurred at the Bataclan, where attackers stormed a concert by the American band Eagles of Death Metal. The assailants took hostages and engaged in a prolonged standoff with police, tragically resulting in dozens of deaths before law enforcement can neutralize the threat. The attacks claimed the lives of 130 people, with hundreds more injured. Victims hailed from multiple countries, reflecting the global nature of the tragedy. The assault on the Bataclan alone accounted for 90 deaths. 90 people died at the concert hall, making it the most lethal of the attacks that night. The attacks were carried out by individuals affiliated with the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, who claimed responsibility. Their stated motive was retaliation for French military involvement in Syria and Iraq. The attackers were identified as part of a coordinated network, some of whom had traveled to Europe from the Middle East. In the aftermath, there was an outpouring of international solidarity with France. World leaders condemned the attacks and pledged support in the fight against terrorism. The attacks also prompted discussions on national security, immigration policies, and counterterrorism strategies across Europe and beyond. France declared a state of emergency, which was extended multiple times. Security measures were heightened, and military operations against ISIS were intensified. The attacks also sparked debates on civil liberties and the balance between security and freedom. The 2015 Paris attacks left an indelible mark on the nation, leading to changes in both policy and public mindset. Memorials were held annually to honor the victims, and the event served as a reminder of the ongoing challenges posed by terrorism. Through resilience and unity, the people of Paris and France sought to heal and rebuild, demonstrating strength in the face of adversity. And that is the devastating Paris terrorist attacks. And it was definitely a shocking crime, and a crime that we hope will never ever happen again. We definitely do not want to see another Paris attack. Well, coming up next, we're going to talk about our final crime tonight. And this is another crime that rocked us 10 years ago. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the San Bernardino attacks here on this episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale. But right now, let's hear a quick word from Cameo. Did you know that I, Alex Cardinale, am now available on Cameo? Yes, you can get a cameo from me, Detective Alex Cardinale, Aqua Alex, or Chef Alex. Here is some more information. Hey everyone, it's Alex Cardinale, or you may know me as Aqua Alex, Chef Alex, WWE Fan Alex, or Detective Alex Cardinale. Whatever you may know me as, I am now on Cameo. And it's the holiday season. It's the time of giving. And I, Alex Cardinale, would love to give back to you, my audience. I can do Merry Christmas videos. I can do Happy Holiday videos. I can do birthday videos. I can do species profile videos. I can do videos discussing anything you want. So this Christmas season, I'd love to make your Christmas merry. Hire me to make a customized video greeting for you or someone you love. Just go to cameo.com/Aqua Alex Cardinale and I'd be happy to make you a personalized Christmas video. Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, the San Bernardino attacks refer to a mass shooting and an attempted bombing that took place on December 2nd, 2015 at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California. This tragic event resulted in the deaths of 14 people and injuries to 22 others. The perpetrators were a married couple, Sid Farouk and Tashfeen Malik, who targeted a San Bernardino County Department of Public Health training event and holiday party. On the morning of December 2nd, 2015, Sid Farouk, a health inspector with the department, attended the event at the Inland Regional Center. He left the gathering after a short period and returned with his wife, Tashfeen Malik. Both were heavily armed with a semi-automatic rifle and handguns. They opened fire on the attendees, resulting in significant casualties. The attack prompted a large-scale response from law enforcement agencies. After fleeing the scene, the couple was located by police later that day. A shootout ensued, during which both Farouk and Malik were killed. The FBI quickly took over the investigation, treating the incident as an act of terrorism. It was later revealed that Malik had pleaded allegiance to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, on social media. The investigation suggested that the couple had been radicalized for some time, though the specific motivations for targeting this particular event remained unclear. The San Bernardino attacks had a profound impact on the community and the nation. It spurred discussions on gun control, terrorism, and national security. The incident also led to a controversial legal battle between Apple Inc. and the FBI, as the latter sought access to the encrypted data on Farouk's iPhone. The San Bernardino attacks remained a somber reminder of the threats posed by domestic terrorism and the complex integrity between technology, privacy, and security. The event has had lasting effects on policies, including the ongoing debate over encryption and the balance between civil liberties and national securities. And that is the San Bernardino attacks. We've got one final crime to talk about, and that is the Charleston church shooting. Now, the Charleston church shooting was a tragic event that took place on the evening of June 17th, 2015, in Charleston, South Carolina. This heinous act of violence was committed by a lone gunman who targeted a historic African American church, killing 9 people during a Bible study session. The church where the shooting occurred is one of the oldest black churches in the United States, with a rich history of serving the African American community since its founding in 1816. On that fateful evening, a 21-year-old white supremacist named Dylan Roof attended the Bible study session at the church. After approximately an hour of sitting with the group, Roof opened fire, killing 9 attendees, including the senior pastor and state senator Reverend Clemita Pinckney. The victims of this senseless act ranged in ages from 26 to 87. These individuals were beloved members of their community, and their loss was deeply felt across the nation. 9 people died that day, and they ranged in age from 26 to 87. The shooting sparked an outcry against racial violence and reignited discussions about gun control and hate crimes in the United States. In response to the tragedy, numerous vigils and memorials were held across the country to honor the victims and stand in solidarity with the Charleston community. The incident has also led to significant movement to remove the Confederate flag from public spaces, as Roof had been pictured with the flag, which is often associated with racism and white supremacy. South Carolina lawmakers voted to remove the Confederate flag from the State House grounds shortly after the shooting. Dylan Roof was apprehended the day after the shooting in Shelby, North Carolina. He faced both state and federal charges, including hate crimes, murder, and attempted murder. In December of 2016, Roof was convicted on 33 federal charges and was sentenced to death in January of 2017. He remains on death row. The Charleston church shooting remains a vivid reminder of the devastating impact of hate-fueled violence and the enduring strength and unity of communities in the face of tragedy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is this episode of On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale. It sure feels great to be back on the case. I want to thank all my amazing fans. I've got some great crime junkies who love my crime shows. You guys begged for me to return to doing crime shows. Well, here I am. Thank you so much for reawakening the fire inside me to do crime shows once again. Now, this Sunday, we're going to do a very special episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, because this Sunday, we're going to take a look at police brutality, where the suspects shoot and injure or kill police officers, thanks to the events recently here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. But after this Sunday, our next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, since it is the holiday season, will focus on infamous Christmas crimes. So join me this Sunday at 9 p.m. for a special episode, and then next week we'll have an episode on infamous Christmas crimes. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Remember, if you see a crime, say something. If you see something, say something. Never be afraid to call 911. I'm Detective Alex Cardinale, and you've been watching On the Case with Detective Alex live here in Port St. Lucie. I'll see you next time when I'm on the case.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for watching this episode of Alex Cardinale Entertainment right here on my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed the video, please spread some Christmas cheer and hit that like button and share this video on social media. Merry Christmas, everyone, and thank you for watching.